Welcome back to the Ranger Project. It's been 2 years. A lot has happened. I went on a mission, and so of course I wasn't able to work on it. I don't know how much I filmed before I left, but when I left, I had it running just a little bit. I got the ignition all done, the engine rebuild was done, everything was in place, and it started up and ran. But it didn't run very well, and I had two suspicions for what that might be. It could have been from the catalytic converter, which could have gotten plugged from all the oil that it was leaking, or obviously carburetor issues, because I never went through and dealt with that. So when I came back and started working on it just a few days ago, it was leaking a bunch of fuel from the carburetor, so I thought it's time that we finally do a carburetor rebuild. So hopefully this will be an interesting one, and I'll get started. We got the carburetor. I know about what half of it's doing. We got a rebuild kit here. Go ahead and take it apart, I guess. So now is a fine time to confess that I have never done a full carburetor rebuild before. Done it on small engines and stuff, but I don't really know everything that's going on here. But I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to be here. There's a channel there that's pretty much completely blocked up by this stuff, and I think that might be the cause of our issue. I can't tell if this is part of the gasket. I think it's too thick for that. Or just mud. Or it might be oil or gas leak related. Yeah, it's some pretty grody stuff. I don't know what it is. Got most of that gunk out there. I think this is all vacuum passageways, because this goes to the geez, it's warm in here even though it's middle of November. Anyways, this goes to the brake booster, so I reckon all of these are vacuum lines. So I really want to know why all that crap was getting into there. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to take all these off as well, some of these external stuff, because I believe the kit has it. So now would be a fantastic time to look at what we have here. Oh yeah, we got a lot of parts. This is the goofiest box for this kind of thing I have ever seen. So in case any of you are a little bit confused as what you're looking at here, like me, I suppose I should probably clarify that this carburetor is a little bit unique. So my Ranger is a 1985, and this is right between the area when they were transitioning into fuel injection and computers, right? So my car has a OBD1 system in it, meaning that was when they had computer systems in them, but it was all based on the manufacturer. In 1996, they switched OBD1 to OBD2. So in OBD1, you got Ford, Chrysler, GM. You've got all your different brands having their own thing. In OBD2, they all use one universal system. So this is before that. This is right at the very beginning of computer-controlled stuff. And you'll notice that this carburetor is actually computer-controlled. So just like an injector, it can vary the air-to-fuel mixture a little bit, in this case by closing the choke a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure which part does that, but it's probably this mess right here. It might be this thing too, but we have a lot of computer-controlled stuff on this carburetor. and a lot of vacuum controlled stuff. So it's really a little bit complicated, and there's so many parts to get on there. But I'm gonna go take a leak, and then I'll be back to finish this teardown. Okay, so since I didn't really know what I was talking about when I filmed this, I will fill you in over voiceover. What that part I'm holding is a bimetal bar rolled up into a spring. So bimetal bars, when they get heated up, they bend one way or the other. And in this case, when it's in a spring-looking shape like that, it'll rotate. And there's the electrical contacts on there for it to be heated electrically by the computer and rotate something. Now, as to what that something is, I don't really know. All those linkages are pretty complicated, but it pertains to the choke. So I have a hunch it might just have to do with cold starts opening the choke, but I might be wrong about that. Fill me in the comments if you know. I think this is enough for me to start cleaning things up and blast all of this with some carb cleaner, see if I can get this crap off. I don't think there's really anything else we need to take off here, but I will probably even actually consult a manual, just because I want to make sure I do this right. I am not too proud to consult the manual when working with this carburetor. Oh, cool, so you can still play music. Oh, that's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I was taking apart the float bowl here, and I've been cleaning a little bit of stuff out. So one other thing about this, and I think it's right here, is the fact that this car also has an evap system, which is kind of nice. So if you don't know what that means, is the gas tank, it generates vapor, and it generates pressure with this vapor, right? And old cars would used to just vent that out the gas cap into the air, and around the 80s they started finding a way to spray that into the intake so that it wasn't an issue. Now you need to spray that straight into the intake instead of above the carburetor, because otherwise you get it too rich. So one of these modules around here probably takes care of that, but I don't remember which one. I actually have the music turned off this time. What idea is that? So this kit came with a whole new needle and seat for the float bowl, so I'll probably get going on that. And they always make these bags just an absolute pain in the nuts. Holy crap. Oh, for Pete's sake. Yay! Yay! I can. Could probably clean it a little too. There's a lot of varnish down in there, and I've been working to try to get it out. Let's see, does this just slip right back in here? Yes, it does. Cool. Here's our gasket. There we go. Slide that puppy on there. Drop her back in. Don't cross thread it, because then I'm going to hate myself. And I'll say it goes on this side. Call it good. Not really too worried about this leaking anyways. If it does, it's really not going to create too many issues. Use our humongous freaking screwdriver. Okay, so that's sat in right there. Oh, I need the old spring. Where did that go? Here it is. Like that. Get that spring in there. Try to get it in the right place. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad we got a new one of those. Okay, this is interesting. Does that actually plug it up? Boom. I think this is good to go. All right, I think the next thing that will be most easiest to work on and get done will be, oh, cool. was a little bit worried. I don't know if any of y'all noticed there was a little piece of this plunger, and this thing was really cracked. And you can see how it has a thing that sticks in, and that thing stayed in there. It didn't come with the plunger, but it's not in there anymore, so that's good. I think it just popped out into here. So anyways, this little mechanism right here is hooked up to the throttle, and it has, well, here's the old one. It would sit in here. You can see it's a plunger, and when the throttle would push this in, it would push this little plunger in, and what that does is that squirts a little bit of extra gas into your carburetor. So when you push the gas pedal in, right, the valves open up, the throttle opens up, and you don't want that time where the throttle opens up, the gas isn't flowing as much as it was before because there's not as much air moving through there, but you have it opened up so there's more air flowing in. And so that can cause an issue with your speed up. If that's not working, sometimes you'll press the gas and it'll stall the whole engine just because it doesn't have the air to fuel mixture. So what this does is it just stops that. When you push in the gas, it pushes a little extra fuel in there and it gets it going. So let's see if I can figure out how to get this new one. Wow, that doesn't look any cleaner than it did before. Well, it's good enough for me. Gosh, I hate the way they do these things. Just die already. There we go. And you've got this little chamber where the fuel sits, and I assume one of these tiny little holes in here, probably that one down there, is where the fuel gets pushed in through here. But of course, you know, I'm just going on assumptions here. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But we'll put that in there, and we'll go consult the manual, see what happens. Well, it's a new day. It's butt cold now, and the manual didn't really have any information. So that's annoying, but I think what we'll do is I'm going to try to get the actual fuel delivery system taken apart. Because, I mean, there's gaskets for that. I think that's this guy here. So I got to figure out how to take that off. And then we'll probably start going around the outer modules and getting those taken care of. And then we'll do some praying. We'll do a lot of praying. Never mind that. So this thing is wiggling, but it's stuck on something, so I don't know. But I was looking around, and I noticed we need to take this guy out of here and replace it with this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's see what we can't mess up here. I love it when you don't have to make sure parts make it out alive. Ooh, that's crusty. Oh, I think the diaphragm in there just ripped. Yeah, that thing is toast. Let's see how this one works. If I blow this one up, it's going to piss me off. Nope, this one works nice. Well, that was definitely a problem. Well, I know I probably shouldn't do this, and somebody's going to yell at me in the comments, but I also don't really care. There we go. Let's put that housing back on. I believe that was this one. I should probably check the footage, but I'm kind of lazy, so I'm just going to assume that this is right. Clean this thing out. Oh, and let's see which. Okay. Now, about the thing that we still haven't figured out. I really want to just pull it out, but I'm scared that that's going to break something. Let's try it. Nope. Something's still attached. I don't understand. Man, it is cold this morning, but we got it out. It just needed a little extra force because everything is super corroded, I guess. I don't think we have new parts for all this, so I'll have to clean it up. But you can see the channels So I've been assuming, this looks really cool to me. I think these are the actual jets. The air gets sucked into here and pulls the gas through it, right? Or this might be, I'm not sure. These might even be the gas relief from the tank. I already forgot what that's called. It's been a long morning, but I assume the gas comes up through here and then is sucked through these guys. So I'm going to give this part a really good cleaning, and then all of this as well. You can actually see a little bit of cracking in the aluminum here, which I have to wonder if that's just caused by gas or what. Probably won't hurt anything, no. But we'll give this a good cleaning, and then we'll start getting it all put back together. Now is a fine time to appreciate something real quick. This is really cool. So this is what sits in here, right? Where the actual gas comes through and gets mixed with the air, because the gas and the air have to be mixed really well to make it efficient, right? And so you can see this kind of looks like a jet engine almost. You've got your holes here and the little gas holes. I don't know if you can see them, but they're right under the tip here. And this is how the Venturi effect works. Air comes in through here and it sucks gas out through the holes, and then it gets mixed in here, right? And this is a really cool system. This is pretty unusual. Most carburetors, to my knowledge, are like this. This is a generic carburetor for go-karts, or, you know, not really chainsaws because those are two-stroke, but, you know, small engines. And this is what it looks like, right? You just have this one, and this part and this part are the same, and this part and this part are the same. So this is the float bowl, right? Gas fills up in here. It comes through this needle and seat here, and as it fills up, the float will come up to the top and close it, so that way you don't have pressure building up in here because the gas wants to be sucked out instead of pushed out. And so the same thing happens down in here. I'll take it apart real quick so you can see. Make sure to use the improper tools. So this is the same thing. This is the float, and the needle and seat is up in here. The air and fuel mixing part, you can't really see it super well, but it's down in there, and it's a single brass pin that comes up and just shoots a little bit of gas up in there. So this is a much better system, and this is kind of why these 1980s models are actually pretty cool. They're very well designed. This is much more efficient than this. But of course it is more complicated and can get jammed easier. So hopefully I'm going to try to clean it out really good, and hopefully it'll do us well. So yeah, I've cleaned this guy, I put it back together. Made sure to do this right. I had to take it apart a couple times to make sure I got it right. I still have to take these apart and clean them out. I'll do that in a second. And we also have this mystery pin that I didn't happen to notice where it came from, so I'll probably have to review the footage again for that. But let's take these off and clean them up real quick. So these should be the idle, the needles for the idling. I forgot the name already, but we're gonna have to readjust this when I put it back in. Oh yeah, look at how sooty that is. I don't want to take these out because I don't want to adjust them, but it's pretty important. Alright, so I started putting a lot more stuff back on, and a quick YouTube video revealed what I was doing wrong. I was wondering what this little ball bearing in the kit does, and I don't know where the heck it went, but the YouTube video is saying that this, along with this rod that I didn't know what it was, go right down in there as some kind of a check valve or something. So we'll just do that, put it back together. I suppose that makes sense because this bolt, I think they call it a banjo bolt, where it's got a hole through the middle, and so it can bypass, the fluid can bypass up through here. And so I suppose that rod just goes in here, if I can get it to work.
Gather around, folks, I give you all the lowdown. It's a mess too. Tables are filled with rotty frails chewing on their fingernails. They were waiting for the man from Harlem. Things are moving kind of slow. Everybody's nerves were getting jumpy. You know, people thought of privilege like all at once the room was filled and forgot all about the bill. Who should enter but the man from Harlem?
Here we are back in the engine bay. It's time to get this thing back in. Why is that wet? It's probably gas. Put one of those on. Okay. Nope, wrong way. Alright, there we go. Something else I want to mention that's really been an issue on this truck is you'll notice how this steel fuel line gets really close to the radiator hoses. Something really annoying that can happen with carburetors is that if the fuel starts to boil, it'll mess everything up. So, especially with these mechanical fuel pumps that are right down by the engine, it's really important to make sure that these lines have enough space. And I'm just going to try to bend it out of the way a little bit. I should probably connect the throttle cable so I can pump the gas while I do this. Maybe we will just leave that off. Oh, I smell gas. Let's see what happens. It's just not working right now, so obviously all of the vacuum lines need an overhaul. I need to learn what's going on in here, and we need to sort all of the vacuum leaks out. Right now I have them all plugged up at the intake, but it doesn't seem to be doing enough. I also have to wonder if the catalytic converter is still a problem, so I might try to yank that off real quick, even though it is very rusty and it's seen better days. And we'll see if we can't get it to at least fire up. And if not, I think we still have a fuel issue, so we'll see. Okay, so we've tried starting it a few times, and we've been squirting some gas in and whatnot, and she's still not working super well. And I can smell gas in the carburetor and I can see it, so I don't think that's our problem anymore. I think it's the timing, so I'm gonna go ahead and mess with the distributor, just rotate it a couple degrees in each direction and see if she'll pop off. Here's another one of those square brain moments. So I, believe it or not, adjusting the timing is super easy. For all who've never done it, there's a bolt way down there at the base of, this is the distributor here. The wire out of the way. This is the distributor, right? This is where all the spark plug wires go. And there's a bolt, not that one there, but another one further down where you can just loosen that and move the entire assembly a little bit. And I was doing that, and I got it to pop off with some ether. I was wondering why I don't smell gas anymore, why there's no gas in it. And then I remembered something. Yeah, this is the fuel line. I never plugged it back up, so she should be running in just a minute here. Well, we retarded the timing, and behold. She idles. Almost. Oh my gosh. Oh, that makes me so happy. Wow, I'm just so immensely proud of this. Now, we still have to go through and redo all of the vacuum stuff so I can get her emissions tested. But this is huge. This is huge. Okay, well, that seems like a good place to leave it off. Really happy that I could run and drive it for a little bit, even though now I've left and I have some other things to do, so it'll be a few months before I get to work on it again. But thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.